All right, guys, today we're going to find tax, tip, and discount and markup. Okay, so follow along on your notes as I go through these. So finding tax, tip, discount, markup is really just finding a percent of a number. You're finding a part of that number. So let's review what that means. 45% of 85. If we were finding what 45% of 85 is, you really just want to know what part of 85 is equal to 45%, right? And 45% is really out of 100. So I really want to know this. What out of 85, what is 45% of that equal to? Like, what's the number here that's equal to 45%? So the shortcut is to turn this percent into a decimal and multiply it by its by the number we're trying to find the part of. All right, so on our calculators, 0.45 times 85. So I turned that percent into a decimal, and that gives me 38.25. So basically, this number up here is equal to 45% out of 100, 38.25 out of 85. They're equal. We don't have to do this fraction part every time, but that's what finding a percent of a number really is, like 89% of 85. So that's 89.89 times 85. So what part of 85 is 89%? 75.65. So I'm turning my percent into a decimal. That's 1 times 85, and 100% of 85 is 85. I'm turning my percent into a decimal and multiplying it, because that's what of means in multiplication. You're just finding a part of a number. So let's turn 125% into a decimal, 1.25. So this one is going to be more than 85, right? Because it's more than 100% of 85. It's like 125% out of 100 is what out of 85? Well, it's got to be more than that. So 1.25 times 85 is 106.25. Okay. All right. So if we have... All right. So for the basic rule is that we're always going to change the percent into a decimal. And then we're always going to multiply the decimal by the cost of the bill or whatever it is we're finding the part of. Then for discount, if we're finding a discount or there's a sale, we're going to subtract that from the original cost. Tax and tip are different. Tax and tip, we have to pay more money. So you're going to be adding the tax or the tip to the cost of the bill. And the markup will be a little different. Okay. All right, so to find discount, we're going to go through this example together, right? All right, guys, so let's get your paper out. A tennis racket costs $69.50. It is on sale for 20% off. How much will you save, and what is the sale price? So I need to know what 20% of $69.50 is, because whatever that is, I get to subtract it from this original price. That's what sale means. That I'm going to take 20% off of this, whatever 20% of that is. So I'm going to turn this into a decimal, and I'm going to multiply it by the $69.50. Pause the video here, see if you can tell me what the discount is, which is how much you save, and then what the sale price is. You're going to have to do a second step. So pause the video here. All right, guys, how'd you do? The first one is the discount. So when you multiplied 0.2 times 69.50, you should have gotten $13.90. That's how much you save. That's what 20% of $69.50 is. So you're going to subtract that from our original amount to find the sale price. The sale price is how much you're going to pay when you get up to the register. All right. Let's go on to tip. So for tip, we are adding an amount. So a tip is a percent of the amount paid for a service on top of the cost. So a tip at a restaurant is a percent of the cost of the meal, so however much you pay. a percentage of that, and then you tip that to the waiter. And a tip at a hair salon is a percent of the cost of the service that they provide, right? So Samantha got a fancy hairdo. Her total bill at the hair salon was $65. She wants to give the hairdresser a tip that's equal to 15% of the bill. So how much should she tip and how much should she leave in total? So I want to find what 15% of $65 is, because she wants to tip 15% of how much she's paying to get her hair done. So I'm going to turn this into a decimal and multiply it by my amount to get this. So go ahead and pause here, see if you can find out how much she should tip and then what the total cost is going to be including the tip. All right, guys, how do we do? The tip should be $9.75. So we're going to add that to $65 and get $74.75, which is what she's going to pay in total. All right. Tax. Okay, so tax is a percent of the amount paid. So we're going to find a percent of a number again and add it to items that are purchased. So many things that you buy have sales tax. Most U.S. states charge a sales tax. Charles is buying a new basketball from the local sporting goods store, and it costs $34. And if the sales tax rate in Virginia is 5.5%, what is the tax and what's the total cost? So I'm going to be finding what is 5.5% of $34, because that's how much I have to add for the tax. So 5.5% is a little bit trickier when you turn it into a decimal and you do 5.5 divided by 100 on your calculator. You're going to get 0.055 and multiply that amount by the 34. Don't forget that 0 in front of the 5. All right, and then you're going to find the tax and you're going to add that because you pay more than the cost of the basketball. Go ahead and pause here and see if you can get those two answers. All right, how'd you do, guys? The tax should be $1.87, and the total cost is adding that to the $34 to get $35.87. All right, let's look at markup. So markup is finding when department stores have clothes, they mark them up from what they had to buy them for. So like there's a cost to create things, and a markup is what they want to make money on, right? So if they get jeans from a supplier for $35, but they want to charge a 25% markup to make money, then they're going to put what is 25% of this 35 to get the new price that they're going to sell it to you, so that they make money from how much they bought it for and how much they're selling it for. So if these jeans were $35 from the supplier, like that's how much the store had to get them from, then they multiply that by this decimal. That's going to tell us the markup, like the new amount that you're going to have to pay in the store when you go to buy them. And that is 0.34 times 35 is $11.90. So the $11.90 is how much you're going to pay. But now I have to add that to the $35 to get the new price. So the markup is $11.90 plus the $35 would be $46.90 for the new price. All right, what if this store wanted to make 42% of what they bought the jeans for? So then that one is 35 times 0.42 to get our markup. A shortcut, if you're thinking about this, would be 35 times 100% of the cost and the 42%. You're kind of saving yourself the step of adding to get the new price. This is one way to do it. Or you could just keep multiplying by the decimal and then adding them. So if I did 35 times 1.42, then I get $49.70. So I basically skipped the part where I was finding the markup. All right, so 35 times 0.42 is $14.70. So the markup was $14.70. And then I added that to the $35. I should have put that here, right? To get the new price of $49.70. All right, so that's a markup when I tell you what the percent is. But sometimes I don't tell you what the percent is, and I tell you what the store is selling it to you for. So that's giving you a little bit of different information. So let's look at one of those problems. Okay. So if this clothing store gets a pair of jeans from the supplier for $35, and then you know the prices you're going to pay, you need to find the markup. Okay, so if you know that you're paying $40.75, one way to find the percentage is to divide 35, right? So that's the original amount, by the $40.75. And then that gives you, so 35 divided by the $40.75, which is 0.85. And that's the decimal. So multiply it by 100 to get the percent. And that's about 85%, maybe 86. We should round up because the next number's an 8. So 86%. So that's the percent, but that's not, well, we have to take that 86% from the 100% because we divided by the new cost. If we had just subtracted them to begin with, like $40.75 minus 35, that would tell us how much it went up over the $35. So there's a couple different ways to do this, and that's why there's a second step over there. But then the 100 minus 86 is 14%. Okay, so let's try that with the $47.60. So two ways. So the first way is $47.60 is the how much you pay, but they bought it for $35. So if we divide those two, so 35 divided by $47.60 is 0.735. So 0.735 is about, multiply that by 100, is about 74%. So the markup is the difference between that and 100. The percent went up 26%. 26%. The other way to do this is to subtract this amount, this $42.70, from the original amount that they bought. So what's $42.70 minus $42.70 minus the $35? That is $7.70. So if you do $7.70 and divide that by the 35, now you're finding what part of the 35 that is. So $7.70 divided by 35 is 0.22. And when you multiply that by 100, we get the percent right away. So this step leaves out the subtracting from 100 because we're kind of doing that when we subtract the original amount from the 35. All right, let's look at a problem because I know this is a little bit harder when you have to find the percent. You're not just getting to multiply. So let's look at this problem. All right, so there is grocery store orders a can of soup from the supplier, that's 79 cents, and you're going to calculate the price you will pay based on the following markups. Remember to round to the nearest hundred. Okay, so these are easy. I want you to mark up the 79 cents by 5%. So 79 cents times 5% is a decimal. Remember, it's 0.05 on your calculator. This one is 12%. So you're marking this can of soup up to 12%, so 0.12. Go ahead and calculate those two and see what you get for the new price. Pause here. All right, guys, how'd you do here? So This one is 0.0395 when you multiplied, right? But this is money. So I'm going to round this 3 up to a 4 because the 9 bumps that up. And then that's the markup. We're marking it up 4 cents. So they're going to make 4 cents on every can of soup they sell. But added to the 79 cents, they're going to sell it to you for 83 cents. The 12% markup came out to 0.0948. But I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredths place, and this 4 makes the 9 stay a 9. And then, so they're going to make 9 cents for every can that they sell if they do a 12% markup. And we're going to add that 0.09 to the 79 cents. So the new sales price here, you're going to buy it for 88 cents. 27% markup, 0.27 times the 79 cents. 0.27 times the 79 cents. Is 0.2133. 0.2133. Round to the nearest hundredths place, always with money. So this 1 is going to stay a 1 because that 3 makes it stay a 1, right? So the markup is 21 cents, but now I need to add that to the 79 cents. And that gives me $1. So the new price, if we mark it up 27%, you'll pay $1 and they'll make 21 cents for every can they sold because they bought it at 79 cents. Okay, this is different. Now I'm telling you, you're buying it for 91 cents. So what is the markup? Okay, there's 2 different ways to do this. I'll do the one where we take this amount and we divide the original. So they bought it for 79 cents. This is method 1. And we're going to divide that by the 91 cents, which is the new price. And that's 0.868. 0.868. And if I multiply that by 100 and kind of round, this is going to be 87%. But I need to subtract that from 100. This isn't going up 87% of that 79 cents. It's going up 100 minus the 87%, which is 13% markup. All right, let me do this one with you too. So now we're paying 83 cents. All right, so I'm going to divide. I'll do it, actually, let me do it the other way where I subtract. So I'm going to subtract 0.83. That's what you're paying, minus the original amount that they bought it for, which is 79 cents. So I'm going to subtract those 2. And that gives me 4 cents. So this means it went up 4 cents. So now I'm going to take that and divide it by the original amount, so 0.04, divided by the 0.79. And that gives me 5%. It gives me 0.050. So when I make that a percent, it's 5%. So this markup was 5, right? Because 5% of 79 cents is 4 cents. So this went up by 4 cents. So you can either divide first, multiply by 100, and then subtract from 100, or you can subtract first, then divide, then multiply by 100. So you're doing the same things, just in a kind of a different order. All right, try this $1.07. So pause the video here and see if you can do this last problem on these notes on your own. All right, guys, hopefully you got 26%, no matter which method you did, this one on the left or the one on the right. I did the one on the left. So I divided the original amount they bought, divided by the price you're going to pay, and then I multiplied that by 100 and subtracted it from 100% to get my 26%. All right, hope this helps, guys. We'll do some practice problems and a classwork to make sure we're good. Thank you.